It is Friday, August 4th, here at McKeon Park, and it is basically a new season here for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, starting off their playoff run with a bang, starting off against the Falmouth Commodores here tonight at McKeon Park at 6 p.m. Eastern. Here for the parking lot preview alongside Jason Boué, I am Ben Pope. And Jason, this is a matchup of a 2 and a 3 seed here in the West, but two of the hottest teams in the month of July for the entire CCBL.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one, Ben. I got my old chair back. It just appeared in my trunk today. I don't know how it got there, but I think it's a good sign for the Harbor Hawks. I guess so. It's a good sign for the Harbor Hawks, I think, because they're going to need some. I think they're going to need some extra help tonight against the Falmouth Commodores. The Commodores right now are the hottest team on Cape Cod. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Travis Lozana just won the batting title. He's been playing out of his mind. But we also know the Harbor Hawks are capable of winning anytime, any place, any opponent. So I think tonight is going to be a super fun matchup.
For sure, it's going to be very interesting. You mentioned Falmouth winning 8 of their last 10. Hyannis losing 4 out of their last 5 to end off the season. Still able to hold on to second place, and they will have home field advantage in this 3-game series against the Commodores. But you talk about facing a red-hot team like Falmouth. That was kind of the approach opposing teams had against Hyannis the whole month of July, but Hyannis kind of having to change it up here now and making some changes in the lineup. But I'll have you go over the lineup right now.
Yeah, we got our lineup today. This is a big one, first game of the playoffs. We got Zach Earhart leading off, playing right field. John Gazdar moving up to the 2 spot. He's been so hot recently. I'm sure we'll talk about him a little later. But he's playing shortstop as usual. Cam Smith in his usual 3-hole, playing third base. Zach York DHing tonight, batting cleanup. Brandon Ike is playing first, batting 5th. Nick Mitchell batting 6th in left field. Bennett Thompson behind the dish tonight for the Harbor Hawks, and he's batting 7th. Eric Snow playing second base, batting 8th, and to round it out, it's Trey Lipsy playing center field. So I like the lineup changes for the Harbor Hawks here tonight. John obviously has been so hot. I think, putting him and Earhart, both guys who clearly can get on base, in front of Cam Smith and then Zach York, I think that can prove to be huge for the Harbor Hawks here tonight. And I trust Coach Beatty. I think he knows what he's doing out here.
Yeah, Coach Beatty has not been afraid to make changes, not only within the lineup, but also with his defensive alignment as well, just trying to set up kind of the best team for success, and we're seeing that today. With Trey Lipsy, he's going to be out there in the outfield. A left-on-left matchup, which is going to be interesting. We'll get into the pitching matchup just here in a second. No Elijah Hainline, who's receiving a ton of the starts between second and short with him and John Gazdar. Instead, the start goes over to Eric Snow, and also Brody Donay on the bench tonight. It'll be Thompson getting the start, Bennett Thompson, who's been swinging a pretty solid bat since he's joined Hyannis. But we can get into the pitching matchup. It's going to be a very interesting one here tonight, especially with the arm here out for Falmouth, who's been probably their best arm of the season. Braden Davis, 1-on-1 record, but a 2.73 ERA. He has been super effective, has been really durable the last few starts, going 5, 4, and 6 innings here for Falmouth and pitching really effective. Going up against Darren Horn, who's been the spin rate king. We've talked about that so much. Coming off a rough outing his last time out against first place Katuitt, gave up 5 runs in just under 5 innings of play. But Darren Horn's going to be facing a tough Falmouth lineup tonight. What do you expect out of the right-hander?
Last time out, you mentioned it against Katuitt. Horn let up 5 runs, but it really was only on 2 pitches. He, hung 2 sliders in there. They took him deep. But if he can control his pitch tonight, if he can get that slider working as it has really most of the season, I think he can be really dangerous against this Falmouth lineup. And, now that it's the playoffs, pitch limits, pitch counts, those are kind of out the window. You can hopefully go a little longer tonight, really give Hyannis a great quality start that puts them in a position to win. I think it starts here tonight with Darren Horn.
Yeah, and Darren's someone that really attacks the strike zone, hasn't walked more than 2 in any of his starts here at for Hyannis this season. So kind of interesting to see with a pitch to contact player like Darren. They have a good defensive alignment behind him. So hopefully that comes into play, and hopefully that leads to a very effective start here for Darren Horn. But we talked about our players of the game pretty much all season long. let's hope I can finally get one. But I'll turn over to Jason first. First game of the playoff series, trying to start off with a bang. Who do you expect to be a player of the game here for Hyannis?
I'm going with maybe the guy who's been the most popular pick on the show the past couple weeks, the leadoff man, Zach Earhart. He has been basically the heart and soul of this team through this entire month of July, where the Harbor Hawks were super hot. He finished batting just under 300, 297 to be exact, which is even more impressive considering his start to the season. So he's really turned it around, and him turning it around helped the Harbor Hawks turn it around. And I think his good performances will be crucial for the Harbor Hawks this series and for the rest of the playoffs.
Zach has been so many things for Hyannis. He's been a great base runner, a great fielder, but overall he's just been a spark plug to the lineup. So nailing it right there. If they're going to have any success this series, Zach Earhart's going to be a huge part of it. Someone else I think is going to be a huge part of it is my pick tonight, and that's John Gazdar. He's arguably been the Hyannis' hottest hitter over the last 2 weeks. He's been picking up multi-hit game after multi-hit game. Picked up a Writers Player of the Game less than a week ago. So he's been really good. And moving up to the 2 slot in the lineup, I think that him continuing to hit the way that he has been, being right in the middle of the lineup with Cam Smith and Zach York protecting him right behind him, I think that's going to be huge, especially if Earhart's able to continue to play the way that he is. It's just producing a ton of run opportunities at the top of the lineup, which we haven't been able to see too much over the last week. Hopefully it gets started early and often against Braden Davis. Maybe some running as well from both Earhart and Gazdar, but I think both of these guys are going to be super effective. But I'm going to go with John Gazdar as my pick here.
Yeah, I like that pick. I'm honestly surprised that John hasn't been hitting higher in the lineup already, considering how hot he's been. He finished batting over 300 in his, I think it was 19 or 20 games up here on the Cape, so he's shown he can do it. And where he also shines is defensively. He is locked down at shortstop. He makes so many fantastic plays, turns two frequently, and really helps out the Hyannis pitchers more often than not with his play in the field. So I think he'll have a great game tonight all around, and I think he'll contribute to the Hyannis win if they're going to do it.
It's been a huge boost being able to move over Elijah Hainline and Eric Snow over second base where they're more comfortable. But yeah, John's just been playing at a fantastic level. But that's all we have here for the parking lot preview before Game 1 between the Falmouth Commodores and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Check out the live stream here on YouTube channel at 6 p.m. Eastern, or come to McKeon Park for 6 p.m. the game time start. And for Jason Boué, I've been Ben Pope, and go Hawks.
Go Hawks.